Steve Jobs once said that the biggest innovations in the 21st century would be at the intersection of biology and technology. It's no coincidence that as we go into 2023, biotechnology is the focus of many of Jobs' fellow 20th century tech visionaries, including Bill Gates and Paul Allen. As with all areas of technology, the global pandemic has accelerated both the development and adoption of biotech with the hope that it will lead to new solutions for major global challenges, including illness, food shortage, and damage to the environment. Genetic engineering, genome sequencing, and DNA modification, these are some techniques which have shown to have tremendous potential in many areas, and the value of the global biotech market is a forecast to pass $100 billion in 2023. So here's a look by Technicans at some of the key trends that will be the driving breakthroughs in this exciting field over the next 12 months. Welcome to this video. Let's look at the top trends that we need to know about in the biotech fields. Coming to the first point, artificial intelligence and big data. Surprised? That is how a new subject of computer science might become a biotechnology trend. AI enables biotechnology startups to automate a wide range of processes, helping them scale up their operations. For instance, biopharma startups leverage AI to speed up the drug discovery process, screening biomarkers as well as scraping through the scientific literature to discover some novel products. Image classification algorithms allow rapid detection of different traits, such as cancer cells from medical scans or crop disease symptoms from leaf images. Further, startups are leveraging deep learning to analyze microbiomes, screen phenotypes, and develop rapid diagnostics. AI algorithms also use image classification to detect traits of human diseases such as cancer cells and the technology that can locate crop diseases such as leaf coloration or decay. Other applications of AI in biotech include phenotype screening and also microbiome evaluation. Arpeggio Bio develops ribonucleic acid platform. This is also where it is a US-based startup developing an RNA platform to guide therapeutic development. The startup solution uses AI to interpret RNA time series data for signaling pathway reconstruction. It turns RNA analysis data into visualizations that provide insights into how drugs affect RNA levels depending upon dose, time, and tissue. Deep Trait identifies genetic markers. Swedish startup Deep Trait, they use AI to identify the genetic markers. The startup's proprietary deep neural network architecture analyzes genomic data to understand the genetic mechanisms of a trait. Deep Trait solutions find applications in plant and livestock breeding, novel drug design, and the development of diagnostics. The fact that humans alone have over 25,000 genes and around 1,00,000 proteins is a prime example of big data's existence in biology. Human minds will find it difficult to analyze and make good use of this unstructured data. Therefore, we will once again turn AI to extract relevant combinations, models, and other information from this massive data set. There is more data for biotech to analyze than ever before. Sensor integration and Internet of Things, IoT, they allow biotech researchers to fuel their innovation with unprecedented access to data. Big data and analytic solutions, they allow biotech startups to tap into this wealth of data to drive innovation. It allows biopharma companies to recruit patients for clinical trials more effectively. Startups and companies deploy bioinformatics solutions to develop better feed, improve crop and livestock varieties, and also explore undiscovered microbes. One challenge facing the healthcare sector and big data is the storage and management of electronic medical records. The US government is investing $19 billion to increase the adoption of electronic records in the healthcare industry. With patient information stored within a directory, the industry has a pool of data to work with to help improve diagnosis and treatments. For example, Genetech has created a database of patients who underwent cancer treatment. Other organizations are accessing electronic records to match patients and clinical trials based on unanonymized health data. Big data can improve clinical trial recruitment, help scientists develop better crops, or even help researchers understand newly encountered microbes. So basically, it will improve clinical trial recruitment and also improve the diseases and the treatments. Some advancements in this area: BioExplore discovers safe treatment regimens. German startup BioExplore leverages big data to discover better and safer treatment regimens. It performs network pharmacology analysis to develop treatments from unstructured and disparate data sources. The startup solution determines the synergistic or antagonist effects of drug combinations. It also analyzes patient data for responder and non-responder signals, improving patient outcomes and treatment response analysis. Then Canadian startup BioBox Analytics, they develop a genomic data analytics platform. It uses a data library to manage all models, samples and data and runs bioinformatic pipelines in the cloud. The solution identifies gene enrichment, tissue cell expression and also ontology. The startup also provides solutions to visualize insights and query papers, data sets and genes. The next trend in line is vaccine development. Yes, there are myriad type of vaccines that have been developed for various purposes, and it's no secret that all types of vaccine development uses tools present in the arsenal of biotechnology. The search for preventing the spread of the COVID-19 virus has forced the scientific community to consider new ways of developing vaccines. Government agencies and pharmaceutical companies have entered into unprecedented public-private partnerships to fund research and pool resources in this area, furthering our understanding of vaccines as a whole in this process. The traditional vaccines that are on the market are based on similar science and similar technologies. What kind of new vaccines can we develop that are not based on attenuated viruses or other things we have done in the past? How does that go? The R&D process behind this vaccine and other related vaccines can provide valuable information about how to create more effective preventive measures in the future. So, example, what we have, the vaccine, which is also a scope for a precision medicine. Next important trend is synthetic biology. An unprecedented ability to read and write genomes allows biotechnology startups and companies to develop products faster than ever before. Moreover, scientific biology offers increased standardization and reproducibility, allowing manipulating organisms at the level of gene networks. Synthetic biology startups work on challenges ranging from computational drug design and cellular agriculture to microbiome-based solutions. Bacterial cell factories provide a high yield of valuable biochemicals for application in pharma, materials, and food. Moving beyond microbes, startups are developing mammalian synthetic biology solutions as well. So, which all sectors it can apply to? Industry, agriculture, health, and electronics. Examples of synthetic biology include biofabricated electronic film, cell engineering for therapy, and automated coronavirus testing using sequencing. Twist Bioscience, for example, manufactures synthetic DNA that can be applied to silicon chips. The technology allows firms to store DNA for next-gen sequencing, which profiles the genetics of various populations to help uncover the cause of the disease and also streamline the drug discovery process. With global interest in biotech development, the trends all mentioned here are likely to continue as investments in the industry to continue. The next it can do is store DNA for NGS as well. Some advancements in this area: Linio Bio, which is a German startup, it develops plant-based cell-free protein expression solutions. The startup's Alice Kit provides over 500 proteins with post-translational modifications at a high yield of 3 mg per ml. It simply requires the addition of a gene in a plasmid to the lysate, eliminating the need for multiple plating steps. The startup manufactures reporter proteins, antigens, antibodies, allergens, and hormones for use in biotech and biopharma sectors. Ribbon Biolabs, which offer DNA synthesis, it's an Austrian startup developing new methods for this process. The startup's process combines biochemistry, algorithms, and automation to drive precise and multiplex DNA synthesis. It synthesizes DNA for diverse applications in biotech, biopharma, and agriculture by building entire genomes or developing libraries for antibody screening. Moreover, it also facilitates DNA-based nanotechnology and storing information or computing with the DNA. Another trend to look out for is advancement of cell and gene therapies. Cell and gene therapies, which manipulate human cells and genomes respectively to create customized drugs, they are booming areas of biotech. A large portion of this industry is going towards personalized medicine. The FDA approved the first ever gene therapy, a drug called as Kymriah, in 2017. The medication uses a patient's own white blood cells to treat acute lymphatic leukemia. Then Yescarta, it's another gene therapy approved in the same year. It has provided at least partial remission for 72% of patients with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in clinical trials. Since then, this area of biotech has doubled in growth. Experts predict a steady pace going forward as more industries move into late-stage manufacturing after promising outcomes in oncology, regenerative medicine, and rare diseases. Despite challenges which are related to capacity and the ability to scale production, FDA Commissioner expects the agency to confer 10 to 20 gene and cell therapy related approvals each year through 2025 as biotech continues to fast-track new projects. Next trend in line is personalized treatment of rare diseases. We'll see more personalized medicines coming in the future. We'll move away from this one size-fits-all healthcare, where modern genomics means it is possible to tailor the formulation of medicines for individuals depending on the makeup of their own DNA. The reduced cost of genetic sequencing from 2.7 billion for the Human Genome Project in 1990 coming down to less than $300 today and potentially maybe even less than $100 in the near future allows for much more extensive screening of trial participants and targeting of interventions. Understanding the role of DNA that plays in our health and our body's ability to fight diseases makes it simpler to predict segments of the population where illness is likely to occur, make better diagnosis, and also create targeted treatments that are dependent on individuals' genetic factors. Precision medicines, they are one of biotechnology megatrends, you can say. Thanks to recently developed advanced tools like CRISPR gene editing and enhanced gene editing sequencing techniques, precision medicines as opposed to conventional medicines, they allow for individualized treatment based on the person's own genetics. Researchers at companies like Moderna, BioNTech, and Pfizer, they are aiming to apply RNA technology to oncology, which means that mRNA-based cancer vaccines can be used to detect and eradicate tumor cells. These tailored cancer vaccinations are created for each patient individually. Moving on to the next trend, food, biotechnology, and agriculture. So here, first point is artificial meat. Meat eating is having a big impact on the planet, and a great deal of research is taking place to reduce this. Lab-grown meat involves cultivating tissue artificially from muscle and fat cells and has the potential to hugely reduce the amount of energy, land, and water utilized by the livestock industry, as well as the methane emissions, which are recognized as a leading cause of climate change. Another point is more efficient crop production. Biotechnology is used to develop new crops that provide better yields and more resistant to pests and diseases. This has the potential to be hugely valuable in a world facing a global food crisis, where millions of people are at the risk of starvation. It means food can be grown that is richer in nutrients and lower in toxins that can be damaging to our health and our environment. Gene editing, for example, could produce varieties of wheat or corn that can grow in harsh conditions or produce more grain in a small area than other crop varieties while providing the same nutritional value. In addition, the development of biological pesticides has the potential to protect crops without the use of harmful chemicals or environmental damage. So, when we say nutrient rich, lower in toxins, it can prove very valuable for the global food crisis. So, example, you have also caffeine free coffee beans. We can also create completely new types of crops such as these created by the UK startup Tropic Biosciences, which removes the need for an expensive polluting and waste creating decaffeination process. Also, we have under this phytoremediation. Biotech will also lead to agricultural practices that are less damaging to environments, as resilient crops as well as more efficient and targeted pesticides will be used in lower volumes, meaning less pollution of the earth and waterways from runoff. It's also being used to create crops that can be used to remove pollution caused by industrial activity from land, enabling that land to be regulated, a process known as phytoremediation. Another point is putting food waste to good use. Harnessing the biodegradable waste products from agriculture is always a top priority in the field of biofuels. Similarly, putting food waste to good use is another challenge. So, for example, 6 to 8 million metric tons of shellfish waste is produced every year during the making of seafood. Scientists have found a good use for this waste by turning the chitin, which is a heteropolysaccharide present in the shells of the shellfish, in chitosan that serves as a biodegradable plastic wrap that could be used in food packaging. Just imagine. Coming to environmental biotechnology. First point is better recycling of plastic. In addition to more efficient crop production with less energy use and economical damage caused by pesticides, there are a number of other ways in which biotechnology is being harnessed in order to improve sustainability and reduce the environmental impact. This includes the creation of biological organisms specifically designed to break down plastics, enabling them to be more efficiently recycled. French company Carbios opened its first plant dedicated to break down this polyethylene terephthalate, which is PET plastic, which is commonly used in plastic bottles using genetically modified enzyme. Another thing in trend is biodegradable toxin-free detergents. Other biotech-derived enzymes are being used to create new type of detergent that are powerful enough to be used in industrial cleaning processes while also being completely biodegradable rather than generating toxic waste as with other industrial detergents. Biofuels. Another hugely important field where we can expect to see ongoing innovation is in biofuels. New processes involving creating clean energy from agriculture and industrial waste, and even algae are appearing thanks to advances in biotechnology. So what are the latest innovation in biofuels? Researchers at Columbia University exploited a type of bacteria called N-Europe, which uses energy released from reactions between ammonia and carbon dioxide and makes liquid biofuels as byproducts inside of uniquely called reverse microbial fuel cells, also called as RMFC. Similar processes have been developed at Harvard University, in which biofuels are made with the help of different type of bacteria called Shevonella. Next point is bioprinting. With the introduction of additive manufacturing in biotechnology, bioprinting startups offer a wide range of materials and products. These startups utilize bioprinters that work with bioinks developed from bio-based materials or biomaterials. For medical applications, cells act as substrates and they grow around a scaffold. This enables the development of bone, skin, or vascular grafts from the patient's own cells for personalized medicine. Other startups leverage bioprinting for rapid prototyping and the development of biopolymers. Here the innovations are 3D Technology Solutions enables biofabrication. It's a Brazilian startup developing bioprinting solutions. Genesis, the startup's bioprinter for 3D biofabrication, serves the need of researchers working on tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. The startup also offers FDM, which is another printer that performs fused deposition modeling with biocompatible polymers. Another innovation is Prometheus offers artificial 3D tissues. This is an Italian startup which offers 3D bioprinting of human tissues with high cell viability. The startup combines cells with materials to create a bio ink which is then printed layer by layer. The artificial 3D human tissue has a similar composition, functionality, and architecture to that of real human tissue. The startup also develops Ematic Ready, a veterinary patch that promotes the wound healing in dogs and horses. Next point in line is development and improvements in drug research. Yes. So there is an evolution of clinical trials where a range of technological advances has transformed the clinical trial process. Clinical trial used to be a very manual process, with trial participants going to a clinic in person to receive treatment and recording their symptoms and side effects on paper. In addition, drug makers typically needed to recruit a large number of participants in order to get the right sample size, or they needed to invest heavily in marketing resources to recruit the right patients to treat a rare condition. Today, the clinical trial has been heavily digitized, enabling biotech companies to test treatments on more patients in less time. In a notable example, in November 2019, the medical genetics company known as Inviti announced a trial with Apple Watch that brings together biometric data collected from the wristwatch and the results of genetic tests in an effort to determine the gene that causes cardiovascular disease. This makes the trial accessible for a large number of people. It helps researchers quickly exclude patients who do not meet the criteria for the trial. Biotech companies can quickly analyze data from current trials to predict the effectiveness of treatments down to a molecular level. They can also revisit data from previous trials to see if anything they have missed or if there may be new or different uses for an existing drug. Next point is faster pharmaceutical tests and approval of the medicines. Faster pharmaceutical testing and approval of medicines. Following the emergency development approval of COVID-19 vaccines, huge efforts have been made to speed up this process of testing and approving new drugs. Much of this is reliant on research and data coming from the field of biotechnology. Traditionally, new drugs have taken up to 10 years to make it through a lengthy process of approval and certification, but biotech data is being used to speed up this process by allowing simulations of interactions between medicine and the human body rather than having to rely on costly and real-time human trials for every process or every stage of this process. One of the innovations here, FDA's real-time oncology review program, and another is treatment for Alzheimer's disease developed by this Biogen, which is an example of a drugs testing and review process that have been greatly accelerated by the inclusion of biotech data, specifically due to the potential to accurately predict testing outcomes of trials of novel cancer treatment. Another example is a pharmaceutical developer, Biogen, whose first of its kind treatment for Alzheimer's disease was rapidly accelerated thanks to advances made in biotech this year. So in 2023, we can expect to see more research in this field, hopefully leading to quicker development of more effective drugs and treatment. Last point is use of NGS. Yes, next gen sequencing. Technology always has been at the heart of biotech. The emergence of advanced computing technology such as machine learning and artificial intelligence enables companies to expand the scope and scale of their research and improve efficiency in the manufacturing process, both of which reduce the time it takes for biotech firms to bring new products to market. In medicine, for example, the ability to analyze large data sets help drug makers identify treatments based on the cause of a disease. So this has the potential to reduce the cost, the $2.6 billion price tag, and the 90% failure rate for developing new drugs. In addition, the evolution of cloud computing technology has removed a barrier for many innovations in biotech. The ability to run applications through the cloud allows companies to store and analyze data without buying expensive computer hardware. This benefits early stage startups which try to limit operating expenses as much as possible, but it also helps larger and more established companies as it makes it easier and cheaper to allocate researchers for newer resources for the newer projects. So there you go, the 10 trends which is booming right now in the field of biotech. If you want to know more about these fields, do check out at Biotechnica stores for the certification courses on these popular trends and get well accustomed with them. Thank you everyone.